Hey everyone, welcome back to the YouTube channel God Will Do It For You. My name is Steven and I hope everyone's having a great week so far. We're getting to the end of it and I know everybody's looking forward to it, hopefully. And what we're going to be talking to today is holding on to faith when it's all you have. And when I was praying about what particular topic that I should talk about, it's almost like God put it in me instantly and it was like, well, talk about exactly what you are dealing with. And that's just all I know to do. I don't know how to just make up topics just to get you guys to click on the video or anything like that. I feel like it's better when we actually give you the real interpretation of exactly what we're doing to make it and to keep pressing forward, so that way hopefully it can encourage someone that's dealing with the same thing or whatever that they're dealing with. They can hopefully apply it and just be a blessing to the next person as well when the conversation comes up. And of course, I just like to go to specific scriptures with this. And what we're going to go to today is 1 Corinthians chapter 16. And I'm going to jump down to verse 13. And it says, "Be watchful, stand firm in the faith, act like men, be strong, let all that you do be done in love." And what this is talking about is faith. It says, be watchful, stand firm in the faith. And the reason why this is important, especially right now for me, is because the things that I'm aspiring to do and the faith jump that I just made, where a job hit me up and they were like, hey, we'll give you work at home, this and that. But if I would have taken it, the schedule, one, conflicted with me being able to be available with my son or being able to pick him up in the afternoon. So that's already here we go. And then also it would impede in the time that I upload these videos and impede in the time that I would be able to work on the endeavors that I'm working on in the background. And so it's one of those things where you have to make a decision. You have to say, you know what, God, if I turn this down, I'm going to move confidence and faith that you're going to do something with some of these things, or you're going to make sure that we're going to be all right, because I'm putting all my faith and confidence in you at this point. I'm jumping off the cliff with no parachute. There's no plan B. And I know some people may look at that as like, oh, I don't know, buddy. Well, I am a calculated risk taker. And I just look at the others in life that have made the same faith move and how they have been successful thus far. And I'm willing to take the risk to see what's possible. And sometimes I feel like that's what it takes. It takes that level of faith and confidence in God. When you look at people like Tyler Perry, Steve Harvey, Denzel Washington, and others, even women as well, so I don't want you to think I'm just speaking of the man, but the woman as well, that have made risk and sacrifices to get where they are. Tyler Perry leaving his insurance job to pursue his plays and wasn't getting anything until that one play that just took off and then started the streamline of what was going on with him. Steve Harvey, dealing with what he was dealing with, and no matter what people think about his story or whatever, it worked. It worked. Same thing with Denzel Washington, how he was getting rejected from everything until he got that one break and his wife was standing by his side, and then he took full advantage of that. And so when you listen to these stories and they're all men of God, and you look back and you say, hey, I want to experience that. Well, I always feel like God's going to put us to that point where, what are you willing to do in order to experience it? How much faith do you have in me that I will make it happen? And my faith in God is at 3,000% just because of all that he's done. And even though, again, things aren't perfect right now, things aren't, like I'm living lavishly or anything like that, it's more so that I have faith that if even one of these things work, life will never be the same in a good way. So it's worth it. It's worth it. You only get one life to live. The way these jobs are cutthroat out here, not all of them, but way a lot of these jobs are cutthroat, the way the economy is, the way I look at it is, I at least want to be able to do what I love to do. And that's worth it to me. That's worth the risk to me. And one thing that God has promised me is that he will make sure that me and my son are good. He'll make sure anybody that's attached to me are good, especially that they are here. And so I have faith and confidence in that. And that's why, again, I jump to my favorite passage in Hebrews, my second favorite actually, next to God cannot lie. But again, in Hebrews chapter 10, verse 23, and I've actually read this before, but again, it states, let us hold fast to the confession of our hope without wavering. In some versions it says faith. For he who promised is faithful. And again, I believe in this Bible. Gold pages and all that. I believe in this Bible. I believe in it. That's how my faith is when it comes to God. Anytime I look at the world or anything like that, I always look at this Bible. I open it up and realize that a lot of what's happening in the world is talked about in this Bible and Revelations. A lot of what's happening in this world are people's experiences. There's circumstances of people that were before us that made the same mistake. And God has given us to download the blueprint on how we don't make the same mistake. Or if we're going through something, they went through it too, but look how they came out. There's plenty of stories. There's plenty of testimonies in here. And there's plenty of proof in here how faithful God is. And how he hasn't eradicated us yet. And how he kept his promise by not flooding the earth again. Or putting a plague down here that wiped us out. God is so faithful to us. For me, it's more so that, especially when he sacrificed his son for us, he did not have to do that, but he did it out of love. So it makes sense that the scripture says, do what you do in love. So that way you can make sure that your heart posture is correct. That way you have the right intentions for what you're doing. You're not just doing it for greed or for yourself. You're like, well, I want to come up so that way I could just bless myself and not others. For me, I'm looking forward to this page to be able to monetize because I'm looking forward to being a blessing to others. This page is not for me. This page is to monetize and to help everyone else. That's all I want, is to be able to help people. I love helping people. It does not bother me. I feel good when I help people. It's a blessing to be able to help people. Do what you can, especially with everything that's going on. People are hurting. People are hurting, and to be able to make a difference, even if it's a small thing, even if you're like, hey, it's up to $20 is all I got, it still feels good because I'm not doing it with cameras. I mean, I'm giving out money and things like that, even when I'm like, well, God, I don't have much, but this dude is like, he's got nothing to eat. I'm at least give it to him. I'm not pulling out cameras trying to post it online. So like, see you guys, look what I do. I don't need that. I don't care about that. I don't need attention because God sees it. God sees it, and that's what's important to me, is that God sees it, and he sees the intention in my heart is real. I'm not doing it just because I'm like, well, I want to bless, and I'm doing it because I feel like it's the right thing to do, and I know that God still has a roof over my head, and maybe this person that doesn't have a home has no way to keep themselves dry, and again, it's just something that you just can't really overlook anymore. It's like, that's sad. It hurts my heart to see that. And so my thing is that I'm taking these risks for my son to hopefully build generational wealth or to leave something behind for him, because I feel like if we've been on this earth all this time and to not have anything to leave behind to anybody that you're connected to, I just think you could have probably used your time a little better. And don't judge me for saying that, but that's just my opinion. I think we're all entitled to our opinions, but I feel like we maybe could have made better decisions. But with me and the time that I have, I'm only 33 years old. I know I don't look like it. People say I look like 20 or whatever, but I'm going to do the most that I can within my own strength, and then rely heavily on God to make up the difference. I'm going to put all the faith that I have. I have all my trust in him. All my trust. Because now I'll even be more transparent. This is the type of risk that I'm taking. My lease is coming up in some months, and you got to have the income to show, or you got to have something to show. And granted, I'm making money, so don't think I'm just living here off of air. I have money to show, but I don't know if it's what they will accept. But guess what? This is where having that faith in God comes into play, and it's like, well, God, you've already assured that you would always take care of me, my son, and you want me here in South Carolina. So I'm looking forward to what you're going to do to make sure that that will continue. Not, I hope, not, I'm going to pray. No, I'm looking forward to seeing it. That means that I have the expectation that I know he's going to come through. And I just feel like if we apply that same thing, that same mindset to our own lives, no matter what the circumstances. You may be saying, I'm homeless now, God, but one thing I've learned about you is that you give us a testimony to help others, because in a year from now, I could be at the top of the corporate ladder, and you don't hide it from them. I don't feel ashamed, because I think that's what people do. They hurt people by doing that because they feel ashamed. Like, man, I was homeless. No, it'd be like, I was homeless. And then they'd be like, but you're here now? That's inspirational. That can help so many people, especially when they know that you serve God. Don't withhold your hardships from people once you make it out of them, because you have no idea how many lives that you can impact in a positive way by sharing your testimony. Hey, I had to walk to work for 6 months. Then all of a sudden, the company that I worked with bought me a car. I didn't even have to pay for it. Don't hide that stuff. Hey, I was working at McDonald's and now I own the McDonald's. Don't hide that stuff. Hey, I was sickly, and granted, I didn't know how I was going to make it, but God has made a way to where I get all the assistance that I need, and I'm still able to live and enjoy life to the best of my ability. Don't hide that stuff. Tell people, so that way they can know that God is still out here doing what he does. God is still in control. God still loves us and cares about us, and he won't leave nor forsake us, and that he's always working in the background on our behalf. He's always going before us to make crooked paths straight. He's eliminating threats that we don't even know about. He's impeding in car crashes that should have hit you, but somehow, some way, it just didn't. He's doing all that stuff for us because he is that good. And I just hope that everybody has the same level of faith. And if you don't, that's okay. He will build that in you by proving it and by putting you through stuff. So you won't have to worry about that. But that's all right. It's almost like a child with the parent. A child learns that they could trust that they parent because the parent is consistently doing what they're supposed to do to take care of the child, to the point where the child doesn't even say, are we going to eat today? They say, what are we going to eat today? So they know that my father is going to feed me. It's just a matter of, what are we going to eat? So we have to have that same mindset with God. Is, hey, I know my heavenly Father is going to take care of me. So what are you going to do, God? And that is it. So I hope that this video has been a blessing to you. Like, share, subscribe if you feel led to do so. Again, this page, when it really starts to do what it's going to do, we're going to do damage. We're going to do damage. We're going to win a lot of souls. We're going to inspire a lot of people, because once you all start really sharing your stories, I see the comments starting to, people are telling their stories and things like that. And I love that you all are keeping the faith. Y'all are holding on strongly to God, because it's easy. It's easy, man. It's easy to get down in the dumps and stay there. But it takes a strong faith to be like, you know what? God is still in control. So keep putting those comments down, because the more people that see this, I care. I read all of them. And I do pray. When somebody says, I want you to pray, even if you don't ask me, I pray. I've learned at a young age that it's a blessing to have somebody pray for you, that actually took the time out to pray. And when I pray, I get on my knees. So I'm taking it very serious. I'm not just sitting, we'll give you some nonchalant prayer, because I care about you. Even if I don't know you, I care about you. I care about your well-being. I care about your family, your health. I care about you because I'm a human being and I have a good heart. And I love you. I care about you. I want you to do the best you can. And just do what we can while we're here. So I hope this video's been a blessing. And until next time.